Good morning and welcome to the People's Debate on Pan-African Radio today, 11th August 2021. My name is Caesar Sindele and my studio guest this morning is PF PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin Chandela Erasmus Mukondo. Mr. Mukondo, good morning.
Good morning, Comrade Caesar. It's so humbling to be once again to be here.
And on the eve of the big day for Zambia.
Yes, on the eve of the big day of Zambia. We have been waiting for this, and you know, this is historical that it's the first election that we are enjoying today or will be experiencing, which has been set in the history of this nation through the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia.
Right, the numbers to be getting in touch with us later after 11. 0950-650-916 and 0974-760894. We are discussing the general elections, and tomorrow the nation goes to vote for the government. We have 16 political parties participating, meaning presidential candidates are 16.
Yes.
For the first time in Zambia's history, when it comes to elections, where we have recorded a lot of presidential candidates. And the PF, are you going to win?
Definitely, we are going to win. We have all the muscle, we have all the advantages that an incumbent enjoys, and that is the number one, which is we have where to show our people what have we done for the Zambian people, what have we fulfilled. So basically where we stand today, we are extremely comfortable that we have done our homework. And besides that, I would also want to start on the 16 presidential candidate itself. For those who doubt that democracy has been growing, this is a true indicator that in Zambia, democracy has continued growing. Previously, we used to have 4, 5, 6. The maximum we had in 2011 was 11. And today, we are talking about 16. This shows that people have a variety, and anyone is free to participate into these elections that we have had since 1991. And besides that, this is the most expensive, again, presidential contest that we have had. So you can even see it doesn't matter. Material does not stop people from participating in our democracy. And a lot of people, when they were saying by putting the stakes as is it around 95,000 the kwacha, people are saying that the numbers are disadvantaging a lot of people. But look at the number itself. I think for all those who are doubters of democracy, that it has continued, the democratic space has continued reducing. This is opposite, speaking volume. And besides that, the day itself, it has been triggered by the Constitution. So this is where we are. As the party who are in power, coming to the question that you have posed to me, we are extremely comfortable because we have done our homework. We have never rested from 2011. From inaugural speech that the late President Michael Chilufya-Sata said that we are going to work, we are here to work. This is what we have demonstrated. We have continued working.
What have you demonstrated? I know PF always brags of infrastructure development, but what else can make Zambia give you a fresh mandate tomorrow?
Look, we have always told, we have always said that if you want to talk about the economy, it's a big thing. You don't just talk about one ministry, the Ministry of Finance. How is the dollar doing trading? How are we doing with the indicators which the MMD had emphasized on? The economy talks about overhauling infrastructure, and infrastructure plays a critical role to where we stand. And among them, I think our emphasis was that one of putting the road network in place, and we are connected. And also, we spoke about digitalization, that is the telecommunication, which we are enjoying today. We are more digital today as financial transaction can be executed even in Siavonga, in Vubwi, and in Sinkobo. Anywhere you go, you find that you are able to get in touch with the family. And that's what we have been talking about. The infrastructure that we have laid in telecommunication, it gives us wonders. And then we also talked about the decentralization, and that is making the services reach our people in all these families employed over time. For instance, under the Ministry of Health alone, we have scored almost 26,000 professionals, that is the nurses and then the doctors. And when you talk about the army, the police, and then also the defense forces, we have employed across the nation almost 14,000 youths. That's cumulative. So basically, that's what we have been doing. And we can see what has been happening. We have not only provided this the so much needed employment, but also the infrastructure, and that is to do the housing units. Where is it our men and women in uniform? Where are they coming from? Are they coming from compounds, or are they coming from properly controlled environments? And that's what we have done. And not only that, equipment itself. The police, they are well equipped today, and this is the reason why, even together with the defense forces, and coincidentally, I think we are celebrating another powerful, I think it was almost close to about the right to vote.
That's
the right to vote. That's how serious we take the right to vote.
Now, that said, you as a ruling party, you are going into this election at the time when the cost of living in the country is high.
Look,
are you not scared that people may not vote for you because of that situation?
The cost of living, as you know it, I think it kicked out the UNIP in 1991. The UNIP moved out, was kicked out because of the cost of living. Among the mono product that we are identifying, the UNIP kick out, it was maize meal, the mini meal itself. That's the one which made the Kaunda to move out. But look where we stand today. Kaunda and the UNIP were kicked out, not because of just the cost of living had gone up, but also the shortages. But today, it's a different ballgame. It's a different scenario. We have food security. We have what UNIP didn't have. That is the supply of the essential commodities. All this we have. In our meetings today, you cannot include the fuel as one of the cost components of saying that life is expensive in Zambia. But basically, we are talking about these other essential commodities like mini meal, is it gasoline, and then others, cooking oil, the other ones. And you can see some of these issues, they also sit with what is happening globally. And that is, we are operating not in isolation, but as a region. We have South Africa, we have Zimbabwe, we have Botswana, we have Congo, Tanzania, Malawi, Angola on the other side, and then also Namibia. So whatever is happening in Namibia also affects us. And this time around, I think all of us were badly hit with the El Nino, which started affecting us way back as early as 2009, and it culminated into the worst period that we went through. That was 2018, 2019, 2020. That's when we had the worst. We had the spells, and then also we witnessed half of the nation. We had the dry spells. On the other side, we had the floods, which destroyed almost the entire crop of northern province, and 4 million people were affected. So these are some of the challenges. If you hear that 4 million people were affected, it involves the farmer. But we are very happy as we stand today. We have improved on the statistics of the farmer. That is from 250,000 farmers. Today we are bragging that we have almost over 1 million farmers. Why? Because we have made the agriculture something which is attractive. And the cost component of it was, we can say almost 50% was being pushed up because of, as I talked about, the regional integration in which we are. That is the dollar relation with the kwacha. And I think because of what we emphasize, in 2016 we said, whether we like it or not, let's invest, let's put 3.9 billion into the energy sector. Instead of consuming, instead of shooting, instead of importing, we have now the fuel lower and other mega infrastructure like the Itezitezi dam. It's up also. It's adding some good megawatts there. And we are talking about cascading generation of electricity here. So basically, that's where we stand. We have our own assets, and Caesar, before an election, we have infrastructure that the president has been commissioned, which has been strategic. And this infrastructure, there were promises which we told the people that before the end of, before we cast our votes, we are going to have this infrastructure commission. And that among them, it's the Kafue Roa, which is adding now almost 150 megawatts. Very soon, the remaining 500, the remaining 600 will be added to the national grid. And then the other one is in Livingstone. The president was seen an international standard, that is the terminus, bus terminus, that will help Livingstone to be, it's a tourist capital to be linked to the international world. And then besides that, we have already Livingstone have established Alimwanga Nkumbula airport there. And then now we go on the Copper Belt. Another milestone achievement which we did was the Kapwepwe, the Ndola airport, and then also ours here in Osaka, the KKI International Airport, that is the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport. And then among others, the prisoners have not been left out. Yesterday the president was in Mwembeshi there. The facility has been refurbished. So we are talking about a lot of things, talking about the bus terminus. Today the president will be passing through city market there to the gated city market. It's up so that our mothers, once again, they have dined across the nation. Look, we are talking about, we are under decentralization. All the provinces, if you look, all the provinces have been taxed under the decentralization policy. We had inherited the 72 districts. We have added, I think, almost 48 somewhere there to come to 116. And that means a lot. If you look at your districts, more than 16, you are talking about the DCs that have been appointed, the town clerks that have been appointed, the civil service that have been appointed. And this is the reason why we are bragging about it. All the areas, people have received at least employment, a share of the cake. So, talk about healthy. We have done more than 600 facilities across the nation. That is the under the health sector, the health centers. And no one has been left behind. And when it talks about agriculture, the land that we have been depending on agriculture, it has been 15% arable land of Zambia, which we still have a huge percentage in which to make sure that we have to continue a civic center. If you are not benefiting through a civic center, you are benefiting through the services being offered through an health center. If you are not benefiting through an health center, then you are benefiting through this digitalization that we have done. So almost everyone is benefiting something. And this is the reason why we are talking about an economy. It's not all about a few individuals who are clustered here in Osaka who are benefiting over the benefit of the dollar. But we have to remember a mother who is in Samsakende, a mother who is in Vubwi, a mother who is in Isoka, who is in Livingstone, and all these other areas mentioned.
Right, you're listening to the People's Debate, and my studio guest is Chandela Erasmus Mukondo, PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin, as we discuss the general elections. And Zambia will be voting tomorrow, 12 August 2021. This is the long-awaited day, and they say when two elephants meet, it's a grass that suffers. And in this competition, two political parties are considered to be big, the PF and the UPND. Of course, we do have the other 14 because it's 16 political parties participating.
Yes.
The UPND, on the ground, they are saying they have gained popularity, and they have even penetrated in the perceived strongholds of the PF. Your thoughts about their popularity? One,
as you have rightly said, that we are the two people that are the main contenders in this issue. These other ones, I'm happy that you have said the other 14. They are just helping.
I didn't say that.
They are just they are just escorting us.
No, it's you saying that.
They are escorting us.
It's you saying that. That's not what I said. I only said there are other 14.
Yes. What is interesting that we all first participated in this general election in 2001. all of us, we have been available for more than 20 years now. And the UPND, they have been available for the past 23 years now. So basically, I think it's a battle of giants, and these giants, we have consistently participated, all of us, and we have been growing. And the party that has been growing at the fastest exponential rate is the Patriotic Front. The UPND has been, today, this election, you find that they dwindle their numbers. Come tomorrow, they try to benefit from the MMD. So as we stand today, the UPND, they don't have further opportunities in which to expand their regions. As they stand today, they are receiving threats from the PF in the sense that we have now our presence being felt in the Western Province, where we are not expecting, the least we can expect from Western Province this time, it's about 5 MPs. The maximum 13 MPs. And the Southern Province, we are expecting, the least we can expect it's 3 members of parliament, because we are very sure that Livingston will do well. And then some other, in Ichoma there, Vengwe, where HH is coming from, we have his cousin there who have given him sleepless night. We are expecting also some independence to also mushroom from the Southern Province. So as we stand today as the Patriotic Front, I think to us, we are retiring one Ekaindi Chirema. And you know, our president, we have fondly called him that is a man who retires, who has retired a lot of politicians, starting from the former acting Republican President Guy Scott. We have also, is it the former Secretary General of the PF, that is Winter Kabimba. We have all these other guys who had challenged him in 2015 that have continued falling off. And I think this time around, Membe is one of them who was very within the PF and used to this grouping as the cartel. That was the many problem that we had in 2015 and 2016. Not even the UPND. Our main challenger in 2015, 2016, it was the internal problem that we had with the Membe problem. And that was the cartel. So basically, that's where we stand today. Today, the PF is who has never even attempted to be an MP, who has never attempted, and I like him, Mirupi. Mirupi has tested the parliamentary seat. And if you look at 2016, the greatest achievement was that Edgar Lungu delivered what we had promised the people of Zambia in 2011, and that was the constitution. So we were very much preoccupied with the constitution, and this is the constitution that now we are enjoying today. So with a lot of problems to that, and that's the reason why we had to come up with that butane thing. So basically, as we stand today, we're talking about a man who has moved us out of road shedding. A man who has moved us out of problems to do with the current fluctuation, especially when you have an election, you find that foreigners who have a huge say in the way things will be happening, especially on the copper belt. Whenever we had an election from 1991, 96, 2001 up to 2011, the mining houses had too much say in the Zambian politics. They would always hoodwink us as politicians. They would say, no, we are going to lay out our workers. But the scenario is different. So basically, we are talking about a person who is fully in charge of the all armed forces, the person who's armed, who is in charge of all the wings of government. So we are comfortable that he has continued demonstrating. We are giving to you a very experienced person in the name of one Edgar Lungu, 7 years of being president of the Republic of Zambia. And this is the reason why our friends, they are afraid of him. They have lost. And look, the other advantage is that we are talking about, he is the first man to have beaten Ekaindi Chirema by 22,000 votes. And that was the vote that we got. It was more than 50%. I think that one, 2015, it was almost, is it 47 somewhere there? It was 48 somewhere there. But he is the first man to garner 50% according to the constitution. So he managed in 2016 to garner the 50%, despite having huge, is it the GBM of this world, Canisius Banda of this world, they were all supporting Ekaindi Chirema. But today, it did not work with our supporting Kaindi Chilema. But today, he's alone. He's alone with an alliance that does not work. So basically, that's where we are basing our belief that come this general election, we are going to garner more than 55 according to the SG. And what I say, we are going to garner more than 57.7%. So we are going to hit him, to beat him more than 1 million. And coming to what you said, that we had not performed well in the Eastern Province, we had not done well in some of the areas. I think Irwapula we did exceptionally well, Muchinga exceptionally well, Northern Province we had done exceptionally well, because they don't have members of parliament there. Copper Belt we maintained. It was, they came half. We had beaten them. Even here in Lusaka we had performed exceptionally well, but poorly in these other provinces like Southern Province, Western Province, and Northern and Western Province. But basically where we stand today as a Patriot Front, we're talking about a cerebral candidate. One was presided over a peaceful nation. One was, even as we stand in this COVID predicament, the civil servants, they have continued receiving their pay. And no one, despite staying at home 8 hours, whatever, others have not been working, not even a deduction has been made to their salaries. They have been paid in full. So the economic indicators are showing that we have a resilient nation, we have a resilient economy. Because if the economy had collapsed, we had all these problems. Shortages of fuel wouldn't have been flowing, electricity wouldn't have been flowing, there would have been protests among the miners themselves. But the miners today, we are talking about the sector that we are now fully in charge as Zambians. And the opposition, the Kaindi Chilema of this world, they were against that decision. So we are talking about everything that they have been talking about. The dollar versus the kwacha, I think it was around 22 kwacha. It was almost going to 23. Today as we stand, the dollar rate is around 18 kwacha. So this is what we have been talking about.
Which has been criticized by some stakeholders.
Yes,
they never expected that to happen. They are saying it's a political gimmick the PF is playing. Look, so that you just win. It's something to do with the elections. Can you confirm that?
It has nothing to do with the elections. Already you have seen the strategic infrastructure that we have been commissioning. Energy. We are talking about, we have been having problems with the way we productivity in the nation because there was a deficit. In 2016, here when I was coming here 2018, 2019, sometimes you find that you talk about, no, we are not going to be on because there is a power blackout across the nation. Today, we're not talking about that. People are 100% working. We are back on our feet as a nation. So these are the indicators. We are no longer procuring or is it paying for electricity from outside using dollars. Money which was supposed to be paid outside, it's within the economy. And then besides that, we have done a lot in terms of agriculture. Today, as we stand today, we are the third largest producing grain country in Africa. That is after Egypt and South Africa. And you know, when we have done our homework,
Now, in spite of you saying that and claiming victory ahead of tomorrow's election, they say no one is perfect. Obviously, even the PF has its own flaws. Where do you regret that you have failed the people of Zambia?
Well, as a leader, we don't regret. You know, we have to work on our weaknesses, and the strengths and weaknesses are that our strengths, as I've talked about, and our weakness is that we are too democratic. We have entertained the opposition who are very violent. We have been too tolerant, and those are some of our weaknesses that we have. Because, you know, there are statements.
Mr. Mkono, when you talk about your statement, when you say you are too tolerant, they say too much of anything is bad. Don't you think being too tolerant is something bad? Well, it's too much. It's too much. It's above expectations.
When it comes to democracy, I think we have exhibited what our friend never expected. We have entertained the people who have talked ill of the presidency itself, which is supposed to be respected. We have an opposition leader who said that as long as he is not president of this country, he will never recognize Edgar Chagwarungu. And he has been moving and campaigning freely. We have people who have plundered our national resources before, but they can freely go and campaign. But as I'm talking today, we are too democratic, and we have, as you rightly said, too much of it. And this is the reason why that we are seeing, if we're too democratic again, it could become a weakness. What resulted in Kanyama, it's one of the, maybe which we can say it was our weakness. We had allowed our friends to beat us, which resulted into some of us being killed. In Mandevu, it's the same. In Isoka, where they don't even have any presence. In Mpulungo, these people, they have exhibited violence wherever they have been. Destruction has been following them. But, you know, we have entertained the participation into this democracy the way somebody would want, freely. But I think with the coming in of the police and the army and the other armed forces, it is telling us that too much of something can also bring in a weakness. So those are some of the areas that we are regretting, because lives were lost. And we have had the instances whereby you find
the regrets could be, where have you failed the people of Zambia?
Well,
you promised a lot in 2011.
Yes, and
but you haven't fulfilled all.
Tell me, which area we have fulfilled? By ministry, I can tell you we have extremely performed exceptional. I have been talking about, you can start the agriculture sector. We are the number 3 grain producing nation. Telecommunication and the transport sector, we have linked this world, this country to the rest of the world. We have 3 international airports. We have mass across the nation.
Unemployment levels are high.
Look at, you cannot just talk about the unemployment levels.
We have to talk about it, Mr. Mkondo, because it's something that is of serious concern. Young people want to work, or government should create, opportunities.
The environment that we have created, I think, in the time that we have been there, the Patriot Front, I'm talking about this district that we have created, and then also the benefit that are offering to our people. I think more than 5 million people, as we pledge the Zambian people, that will be employed. That's what has happened. And we have seen that towns which were ghost towns, like Kitwe, Lusaka itself, it was the war zone. Livingston, it was a ghost town. Kabwe, it was a ghost town. Luapula, it was the poorest. There was literally nothing. So when you talk about employment levels, we have tried a lot in those areas, despite having inherited an economy which had no capacity to have that employment levels. But this time around, as we stand, I've spoken about the civil servants. We had 700,000 people who are registered as those who are in the formal sector. Today, we have 2 million people who are in the formal sector. That is a leap. We are talking about something which has happened.
But the number is minimal. Zambia is
18 million. And the population, look, the population, I think a lot of the majority, they are between the age of 0 to about 16 years. That is almost half of this nation. But basically, what we have done, we have laid a strong foundation for the future of this nation. And we are very proud that we're talking about an economy very soon which will be operating 24/7, so that more employment shall be created. But what you should also consider into your analysis is that the private sector now is flourishing very well. These shopping malls where we are going today, they have employed a lot of our youths. They have employed a lot of the service providers, and they have been doing a miracle when it comes to the food chain. The food chain supply. So basically, I think we should not overemphasize when you talk about employment. We have done what any other government can do. And when you talk about the promises, today we are not talking about drainages. Today we are not talking about clinics. Today we are not talking about hospitals. Today we are not talking about poor road network. Today we are not talking about a ZMBC that has a problem because of Sinkowo, there's no telecommunication mast. Today, we are not talking about a maternity wing at University of Zambia where it is stinking. Today, we are not talking about a Zambia whereby Luapula province, there is no employment, there is no life, there is no... Today, Luapula is contributing more than 3% to our gross domestic product. So, that's what we are talking about. Today we are talking about a Western province, people of Western province who are not traveling between Kaoma and and Mongo taking days, you canoeing 24 hours. No. Today, just here, Chiawa, the people of Kafue, they are not talking of you immediately when it's dark, you need to find where to sleep to continue your journey today. We have connected to all these places. So we have done almost over today, I can even say 99%. 99% of what we promised the people.
Now, if you
the Constitution itself, it was a promise. We have delivered.
If you win tomorrow, what new things are you going to do?
The new thing that we have, the 0.5% now, the new thing which you are now talking about is just the economy now. How do we share? And then how do we manage the employment levels now too? How do we engage everybody into the economy? How do we involve our youth into the economy? And that's the way forward. The 24/7, the way it is happening in South Africa, where our workers can work 24/7. We want also you to be 24/7, not 18 hours. You find that the Lusaka CBD area, it will be all closed. The only station which will be operating is the radio stations. No, we want everybody to be operating. That's why Twaika Malai, almost everywhere. This town, they are even afraid that we are putting camera work everywhere. It's because we have been prepared ourselves towards that 24/7. The infrastructure itself, we have put both the surveillance and then also the right infrastructure, the way the president will be doing it today, the Simpsons building today, the Simpsons market, which is a new infrastructure, so that traders can trade 24/7. So basically, that's where I was standing today.
Right.
So all sectors we have touched. Even in the dollar itself, it's the one which is now coming. That was the last thing which the opposition had a muscle on.
0950-650-916 and 0974-760894. You can start calling us now. We are opening the phone lines early today because I know many people want to ask or participate in this program because tomorrow is a day that everybody who is a registered voter, eligible voter, will be out to cast. And I know we have a missing voter's card in the studio. Let me just seize this opportunity also to perhaps somebody is listening to this program. This one is for Chituta Kasonde, a female. This is our voter's card. If anyone knows her, kindly tell her to come to Pan African Radio and pick up your voter's card, which we just received from some people who brought it here that is lost.
Yes.
Chituta Kasonde. Yes, that is the name of the lady, and she is she registered at Obama Plot, Madido. That is in Charleston.
Yes.
So if anyone knows that person, kindly send a message that our voter's card is here. Okay. We are opening the phone lines early, as I said, and my studio guest is Chendela Erasmus Mkondo, PF, Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin. We are discussing the general elections. And now, Mr. Mkondo, before we even start picking calls, U.S. Senator Bob Menendez on 9th August 2021 called for free and fair elections in Zambia. Senator Menendez, who is also chairperson for the committee dealing with foreign relations in the U.S., further urged political leaders to work together to reverse the democratic backsliding that has occurred in Zambia under President Edgar Lungu in order to avoid political violence and restore Zambians' faith in their government. Here is a report that is accusing the government that the democratic space in this country has backslidden. You as a PF official, what is your reaction to this?
Well, as a PF, first as an individual, I would ask myself, after, is it the 6th January incident of the United States of America, where you find that the United States of America that put the army, to this very day, their presence has been felt after there was an assault on their democracy there. Did anyone from the third world or the superpowers categorize America as their democracy as going backsliding? No. the thing, what other people are talking about, it's unfortunate that it's not in Zambia, it's not in Africa. He's just a senator there, and being a chairman for a committee. It's just like here in Zambia, an MP is in charge of a certain committee at Parliament there, and then they start talking about the United States of America and issuing such statements. It's unfortunate that we are such. And on the other side, it shows how powerful Zambian democracy system has reached and how much we have achieved to be recognized even by the United States of America. And over the years, I read that one in full, and it's unfortunate that it has a lot of lapses when it talks about the democratic space that we have been enjoying. These are similar statements when Kaunda in 1996 was jailed. They talked about the Zambian democracy as backslided. In 2011, when Mazoka lost, they said the democracy had in fact become darkened. So in 2006 again, we had such statements, but unfortunately not from higher officials like this one, a senator from the United States of America, because some of these committees, we know them that those are supposed to be information for themselves, to come and help with the situation, to help the police before anything deteriorates, before we lose the animal lives. We don't want to go the way other people are downplaying. Today, we have gotten to know that if you downplay something, the way of America, they downplayed the threats on their democracy, that Trump was a threat, despite being a sitting president there. By the time they realized that their senatorium, where they sit there, it was attacked by cadres. They were attacked by those Republican
at Capitol Hill.
At Capitol Hill. It was a disgrace. So I think the president wanted Kachagalungu. To us, it's a learning process. The one whom we have perceived so, it's the UPND. So I think we normally leave it at that, because at the end of the day, we have the president who is supposed to respond to that. We have the Secretary General who is supposed to respond to that. But as a nation, we normally get surprised as a political party that why start talking now, especially when it's at the eve of an election. Is it 48 hours before an election, somebody posted like that? Do you want to sway an election or to influence an election? Because even them, they have been crying. When in Russia, they try to support somebody, they say that they are rigging or whatever. So this thing of trying to issue statement when it's on time, they should have at least issued such statement a long time ago, so that we protect our democracy. But where we stand is the position where so there's no deterioration. In fact, what the president has done by bringing the army is to protect democracy, because democracy is just one of the rights. Democracy, it's not everything that constitutes life. It's just one of the rights, the right to participate and elect a leader. We have other rights.
Can you assure Zambians that tomorrow's election will be free and fair?
Will be free and fair. Why not? We have always been free. Tell us an election where there was a shedding of blood. And this time around, it was an election where we are almost having a shedding of blood. And the president has stopped that, has put a stop to that, by making sure that the defense wings, they help people so that they freely go and cast. Then if we left it laissez-faire, where you find that tomorrow 60,000 youths, they have been mobilized to go and cause terror across the constituencies of Lusaka, or the 7 constituencies of Lusaka, and then also on the Copper Belt. That we cannot allow.
Right, we have opened the phone lines 0950-650-916 and 0974-760894. You can also send WhatsApp messages on the sales line, which is 0950-650-916. I'm talking to Chandela Erasmus Mkondo, PF, Information and Publicity Desk, Chief Admin, regarding tomorrow's elections. I have a message here. Let me start with a message. Hello, Sindele and Mkondo. I would like to ask the guest, Zambia is today rated the 5th hungriest in the world. When PF came into office in 2011, what was the rate of Zambia by then? What did you do to push Zambia upwards in terms of this rating? Francisco Lusaka. Maybe respond to Francisco before we go to Kenya.
I think these statistics, don't base statistics on just a small institution and then it passes and then the rates, this is the rating. I don't know which rating he's talking about. One, he has not talked about which rating. Is it the United Nations rating? Is it anything that is coming from a formal source that we all recognize as formal? So basically these ratings which are just on social media, we have Haiti, we have Somalia, we have these nations. You find that the hungriest, we are not even among the 20 poorest nation on earth. So basically when we hear people that they are the hungriest, then why is it that Botswana is coming to Zambia to buy food from here if we are the hungriest? Why should you come to buy to people who are hungry? Why is Zimbabwe coming here to buy food from hungry people? Why is Malawi coming here to buy food from the hungry people? Why is Tanzania coming here to buy food from the hungriest people? Congo, why is it coming here to buy from the hungriest people? Namibia, why is it coming here? So I've mentioned about 6. So I don't know where he's getting his rating from. Let's recognize things in a proper manner, not just anything who was posted on social media. We think that is information that is worth to share. Some of these sources are not worthy to share, because I will be worried if the United Nations said Zambia is rated as the 5th hungriest. I've just mentioned 5 nations which are hunger. Botswana, they are coming to Zambia. Namibia, they are coming to Zambia. Zimbabwe, they are coming to Zambia. Mozambique, they are coming to Zambia. Tanzania, they are coming to Zambia. Malawi, they are coming to Zambia. Congo, they are coming to Zambia. So already we have almost 7 neighbors which are depending on our food surplus here. So how does it stand, this 5th?
Right, we are picking your calls on 0950-650-916 and 0974760894. We pick this call. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Okay, who's on the line? Dr. Mainza. Go ahead with your contribution.
Bueno, muy buen, Dr. Mainza. Okay, yes.
Okay, Dr. Mainza, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, Mainza, for your contribution. Come through on 0950-650-916 and 0974760894. We pick this call. Good morning. Mr. Elvis, good to have you.
Bueno, Marisha Wankando. Empire.
Okay, Elvis, akashitaka hapo na mtu atotela sana. Okay, thank you so much, Elvis, for your contribution. We pick another call. All right. Hello. We have lost that call, but do not lose hope. Keep calling. You definitely come through. We have another one. Mr. Mkodo, you respond after this one. Good morning, Brother Morgan. No, he's no. Yes.
Thank you, Brother Moga. Yes, my older brother. Yes. Mm.
Okay, Morgan, thank you so much. That's Morgan. You can respond to Morgan.
I'll start with Morgan.
And the other.
You know, he has already talked about that we have developed this nation at a higher cost, meaning we have borrowed. So, how do we increase the salaries? If you know that the salaries, they constitute almost 50% of our budget, and the other 50% it goes to development. And then also almost 20, is it another good chunk goes towards the paying and servicing of these states. How are you going to increase the salaries? It will mean it's either you are going to fire staff, you are going to reduce on the numbers and then increase, replacing that number which we have had, because these are some of the proposals that the IMF and the World Bank has been proposing to us, that we need to have a lean government, a small government, so that at the end of the day we'll be able to have few people who have huge salaries, and then they'll be able to bring in efficiency. But we have always refused that. For us, as a nation which is growing, we need the civil servants, and we need to have a big number of workers, so that at the end of the day we improve on both the delivery of this so much needed services, and then also to make sure that employment levels, they are also taken care of. So basically, when you talk about Morgan, he is contradicting himself. You cannot have a civil servant which is already eating almost 50% of the resources of the nation. They are going to maintain the civil servant. And then you want to say that, where are you going to get the increase from? First, you need to lay down the infrastructure, so that at the end of the day, you provide the employment the way we have done it. These hospitals, these clinics that we have built across the nation, these are points at which now servants have been engaged. And through these services, that the population will continue now benefiting economically, because we are going to have a healthy nation at the end of the day. So they are shooting themselves. It's not possible that immediately that somebody comes into power or increase the salaries. It will mean he has to increase it or start selling assets of the nation, the way it was happening under MMD. MMD kept on auctioning. After they have a problem, they'll say, no, which one are we going to sell today? Oh, no, let's sell that share kaja American now ZCCM HI. It's how much? 3%. Let's sell it and then we do some production and then also we pay salary. They were just dribbling. That's what he's talking about. So they don't offer any hope. How are they going to provide those revenues, those sustainable revenues? Because even what we have done, they are against almost everything that we have done. We have increased the revenue base by making that sure that we have taxes, new taxes like the toll gates. They are against that. We have increased some of these issues to do with the fees, to do with the drilling of the water out from the bores, the bore levies. All those fees, the management fees, they have refused. So we don't see a people that is serious. The ideologies, they don't speak volumes. They are just something which is coming from Jamaica. So I hope Vizinkando, thank you very much. I think the authorities, they have heard, I think the hospitals, they will be fully operational so that they can accommodate our friends who will be losing for the 7th time now. So basically, that's where we stand. And we are very much sure that we are winning this election. But Mainza is talking about something which it's eating direct in his face. One, talk about the violence. Which party has been caught in the web of violence? There's evidence. Go to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. On all these instances which are happening, where people are being killed, UPND is being mentioned. UPND is being mentioned. Where are the other 14 political parties? Why is it that these other political parties, which are also in opposition against PF, they don't have problems with us, the PF? We have members gone across the nation. We have not even heard that one of the people have been killed, apart from one individual whom I've heard in the Northern Bloc, where we have lost a person, I think, who was aspiring, who has been killed for the socialist. Otherwise, the instigators of violence, it's the UPND. Talking about medicine, you go there. We used to have people who have been thrown out, going across, is it going to South Africa? Today, are we having politicians who are going to Morningside?
Who attacked the Socialist Party candidate?
I cannot talk, I don't want to talk about that much.
You have mentioned.
I've just mentioned.
You have mentioned that person. So, meaning you have some information.
I have some information, but I
so
think
who attacked
it could be the same UPND. It could be the same UPND because it is all heading towards the UPND, even that one. But I'm not here to defend the socialists. I'm not interested in the socialists. I'm interested in the Patriot Fund. If it was involving our Patriot Fund, we would have said, I would have even cited that instance, that the UPND attacked that guy. But I think it's between the socialists and the UPND. So basically, that's the position. So coming to Mainza again, the hunger, he's talking about hunger. Look, we had faced the El Nino between 2017, 2018, 2019. His relative in Southern Province, they had a spell of dry spells. Today, as we stand, the office of the Vice President successfully helped the people of South Africa. He helped the people of the people of Southern Province, where to this very day we don't have any statistics, because at one time they said declare Zambia as a disaster where we would need international communities to come and help us. But a hungry nation managed to sustain itself without receiving any food from outside. So we are asking ourselves, are they serious with what they are talking about? So the other one, I think the other guy I've answered, sending the hungriest.
Okay, we pick another call. Hello? Mwaka Bwines.
Bwino Bwanji Walevi. Walevi muzafa na BP. Muzafa na BP. before distribution. How can my papers go missing before distribution?
Okay, go ahead. Okay, Valevi, thank you. Okay, Valevi, thank you so much. We pick another call here. Good morning. Hello? Tuwabuka fi bunu mabuka shani.
We know what went from.
Okay, yapo Insta. Okay, yapo Insta yenu. Okay, Insta yenu yapo. Thank you so much. You have to be brief so that we also allow others to come through. That's why we open the phone lines early so that we can have as many callers as possible. The numbers are 095 065 0916 and 0974 760894. We have another caller here. Good morning. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
Your name? Tupele Nishina, Nimobana Nishina. Hello? Okay, too bad. Give us your name when you call so that we know who is on the line. We have somebody here. Hello there. Morning, how are you? Tuwabomba fe buno katushina imwe. I ovanigo. I ovanigo. Ishina fe yenu ya chine mo bana. Shami shapo equation like mishire. Lubingu Thomas. Lungu Thomas. Okay, well, Lungu Thomas. I ovanigo. Same contribute.
Bueno, mwishani watata.
Okay, thank you so much, Lungu Thomas Ayovanigo, for your contribution. We are picking another call. Hello. Morning, how are you? Okay, Manangoma, we are fine here.
Yes.
Yes, it's the one.
Mwina mlishani mabululu wa chipata. Hai. Mm. Mm. Totela.
Totela Manangoma for that contribution. On WhatsApp, don't give us WhatsApp calls. Just send messages. I know I can see some people calling on WhatsApp. I said only send messages. We can appreciate. We'll pick another call, and our guest will be responding. Hello there. Good morning. How are you? Very fine. We are happy that we have the second female calling. After the Wanangoma, it's you now. Yes, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mama.
Tulela ntana wa tulela shanda banani? Okay, badana kitu totote.
Mm.
Okay, thank you so much, Dana from Kitu. You can respond.
Well, how building from Wadana, thank you very much from Kitwe. It gives us the picture where we're coming from. That is the inside of the copper belt, and she's speaking to say that we are winning there. And these other ones have been selling bitterness. They have been selling bitterness. And for us, we have been selling the manifesto, and it's very simple. The two ladies, they speak for Mother Zambia. They speak for our women. And you know, we have had men who complain, oh, it's anger, anger, anger. But look at these women who understand the importance of peace and why we have the defense forces. And she has, I cannot subtract anything from her. She has talked about peace, the importance of maintaining peace. And this is on the own way. She brings us back to the Corona incidents, how we successfully managed that issue. So basically, that's where we stand. And I think the other problem that we have had, which is from both the ruling and the opposition on our weaknesses, it's that one of cadreism. I think with the coming in of the army, they should be extended even a month, so that we don't have a problem with the cadreism of wearing these uniforms. And you know, we have not seen any cadre now who is wearing a uniform of the military, because they know that these are the people that they have been talking about, commander who, commander what. These are now the owners of those titles. So basically, I think the move by the president has been welcomed by all peace-loving Zambians. and everyone in Zambia is happy. We are all moving freely. It's not the senator who is in the USA who is enjoying the peace that we are enjoying today. Today, Caesar, as you were sleeping yesterday, you are not worried. You didn't even think that the army is there, but you just slept knowing that tomorrow you are going to report for work. The way it is happening, the deployment, it has no effect on our lives. But what it is that it has enhanced the peace that we have always cherished. So if the army were released, deployed on the ground, and then you find that even our movement are restricted, it would have been something else. You know, I'm coming from I had spent about 3 years in Botswana. In Botswana, the military, they operate almost everything. The tourism industry, they are the ones who are like the Zawa there. You find that this is the reason why their tourism was flourished, because why? The army, they protect their animals, the wild animals there. They have taken tourism very important, and the economy has boosted. You go to Tanzania, it's the same scenario. You find that the army, they are the one who participate in some of these important strategic economic sectors. So basically, in Botswana, where I used to, in my 3 years that I spent there, we had checkpoints which were mounted by the army consistently in that 3 years that I stayed there, and even to this very day. But yet we have never heard anyone to say that Botswana is a police state. No, Botswana is not a police state, but they are doing their diligent duties. They are protecting the economy in Botswana. They are protecting the lives of the Botswanan people, and that's a very good strategy. You go to Kigali, it's the same. So even us here in Zambia, what the president has done, this should be emulated even in the future. Whenever we have such election where people, the way I think another caller talked about the video recording by our late granddaddy leader Wanu KK, where I was saying that this opposition leader by name mentioned in Mekaindi Chilema is one whom we see as a person who can divide the nation. And I'm thankful that this video came after, it was released after that granddaddy leader has passed on, because you know what he observes, it's true. It's true. So we cannot subtract from what the one KK had said, but it's just a warning. And you know, once warned, once foretold. So basically, that's where we stand. So the other ones are just talking about the same of I think Thomas has said there is no wind of change, and is ready to go and cast. And he has talked about an important thing. I think he's talking to Levi, my other friend there, who's complaining of hunger. That when it comes, even quoted some scripture that when it comes to putting food on the table, it's a sole responsibility of parents as fathers, not in fact even your wives, but you know, as parents, as husbands, let's make sure that we become the head of this family by making sure that we provide the food. We work 24/7 to make sure that we bring food to our homes. And the other one which I wanted to talk about, this 10 years, you know, how do you expect prices to be the same over a decade? Even salaries to be the same over a decade. Even a child who was 6 years ago, a child who was under 5, today is 15 or she's 15 years. Is that not a huge difference? So when you're talking about 10 years, 10 years, it's a long period of time. Even when you go on the international, the internet, try to punch for a canter. How much was a canter in 2011? These canters were going as cheap as $5,000. Today, just this 1 ton canter, for you to get it, it's going around $25,000, $18,000. As that's also been affected because of the PF. Those are in dollars, in fact, in Japan, in Dubai, in all these other places. So things have kept on going. Previously, we used to buy as cheap as 1,000. Some of these vehicles are as little as 1,000. But tell me, how many people are able to access the same vehicles? when they were cheap at 1,500, at 2,000, 3,000 in MMD times. Very few people. In fact, the police officers were garaganting. If you talk about the army officers, they were working. If you talk about the teachers, they were working to work. But today, almost everyone is driving. Almost everyone can have access to this the benefit that we have brought at the Patriot Front. So I think they are talking from a layman point of view. The economy will never be the same international wise. Even they just talk about some of the is it welding machine? How much was a welding machine buying it from South Africa today? You find that it was selling around as little as $35. Today they are $350 or 350 rands. So everything has been pushed up.
Right, we have a message here via WhatsApp. It says, hello, this is Emmanuel Mwape in Lusaka. I'm asking what you have done at Luapula Zambia District Mabokunda that will let you pass tomorrow, because here at Mabokunda Zambia District we haven't seen any improvement, and from Londwe going to Mabokunda to Peter Momenshi. Now, why will we vote for you? Tell us, please, what have you done at Zambia District?
Emmanuel, the opposition that you are dealing with here, we don't have money to borrow further. At the moment, as we stand today, the opposition that you want to vote for, they don't believe in bringing infrastructure where you are, because they will say that economically you are not viable there. That's what their answer says. And for us as the Patriot Front, what we know that we had inherited an economy in Luapula, which was contributing less than 1% to our national gross domestic product. Today it's 3%. So this 3% is because we have 121 companies which have been operationalized on the in Luapula. Our 10 years we have spent trying to make sure that investors come there in Luapula. And this is the reason why very soon, I think they have already commissioned, laid the foundation for bridges which will be connecting into Congo, because we are not even connected into the Congo, apart from the old Lev Manawasa bridge which Manawasa constructed there. But beyond that, Luapula was not linked. So basically for us, we are very happy that Luapula has been opened up economically, and it's now contributing almost 3%, because we have a lot of companies which has come out. Among them, this is Zambia Sugar, Luapula, Chili, this is the Mwense, the same trade school. We have a lot of infrastructure which has also been done in terms of hospitals in Mwense itself. So basically, that's where we stand. Some of these towns like Mwense, my comrade Caesar, if you pass through, you can cry. They are as smaller as Kamwala here. So basically, this is the reason why we have believed as a Patriot Front that we need to take infrastructure in all the towns in Zambia. So basically, we are not trying to insult the people of Mwense, but we know that holistically, Luapula was the poorest province in Zambia. But as we stand today, there is a lot of life. There is a lot of economic activities which are happening. If that is not happening in Mwense, I think it's happening in Mansa. It's happening in these other areas. But we know that Mwense is not spared.
We pick another call on the program. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, too bad. Tupele nishina limo wa nani? Ishina. Limo wa nani ishina? Ba Moses. Okay, Moses, to Atotela for coming through. We are picking your calls on 0950650916 and 0974760894. You can also send WhatsApp messages on our sales line. We can read them and we appreciate it. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Chiluba. Okay, cool. Woodlands. Okay, it's time to contribute. Okay, thank you so much, Chiluba from Woodlands. It's 11:51 in the dying minutes of the program, but we can still pick two more calls so that we have our guests to respond. We have a caller here. Hello, good morning. Oh, okay. That's Diana.
I'm quite. Welcome back.
Okay, what Diana? Okay, Diana, they are from Kitwe. We are picking our last call on the program. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Very fine. Your name? Kwa ilipa radio, niwa na ntulia mbele. Mkwai? Okay, we can't get what is it? Hello, what's your name? Okay, too bad the line is not clear. Hello, good morning. Nyumba wa ndani Zina. Okay, but Richard Banda, mulina 1 minute share contribution. Okay, but Richard, time is up. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's our last caller.
Yes,
Richard.
let me build on what Richard. We should just go. He's not voting, and this is an example of the people how they are not serious with what they have been talking about. They know that their candidate is not going anywhere, and this is the reason why he cannot even go and exercise the most important thing. It's not important for him to cast to vote, but he's telling us not to go. So basically, we are not going anywhere.
Let me just read 2 messages. It says, this one is Mwinga from John Leng, Kanyama. It says, bye-bye, Mwebuteko Wakandolo. Here people have started celebrating the winning of Bali, HH incoming president on Monday. That is one of the messages coming from. Then another one, UPN is winning. Personally, I have suffered in past 10 years, and people have changed their minds. John Lusaka. You can also combine your responses.
Okay.
Yes.
Bamwing and with the other friend, it's unfortunate that they have already started celebrating, and that's what we know. In 2001, they were celebrating. 2006, they were celebrating. They are always celebrating. So we have cast them as the Facebook warriors. These are Facebookers. So tomorrow we are casting the vote, and we have to wait within 72 hours to hear who made the victorious one. But for us, we know that we have the experience, and we know how elections they are won. They are won by a hard-working government, and for us, we want to get back to Richard Banda, who is a symbol of the UPND. How unserious they are. It's just can I say almost 20% of the people in UPND strongholds who won't be voting, and tomorrow they will be saying that we have lost because of rigging, but the rigging is themselves. They are not going to vote. They are not going to participate. So basically, that's where I stand. Now coming to Adana, thank you very much for the practical examples that you have been giving us. She used to be afraid when she was at Kazungura Bridge, because they have to, when the pontoon stop operating, to mean you have to face lion. Both sides, the Botswanan side, they are animals, and the Zambian side, it's a national park. So that's where we stood. I was talking about the scenario of Chiawa. It was the same. But today is talking about something which is very practical. Whatever is happening in Kwitwe is exactly what is happening here in Lusaka. She's talking about hospitals. In Kitwe, they used to go to Kitwe General Hospital. Today there is in Ghana. There is a mini hospital. Today, go to the 7 constituencies here in Lusaka. We have mini hospitals. The scenario is the same. Go across all the districts. And this is the reason why I was saying that at least everybody has somewhere where to point at. And this is the reason we even said that under PF, the probability of throwing a stone and hitting a PF infrastructure, it's almost 90%. The 10% that you are not going to hit where the PF has not put something, it's 10%. So 90% of when somebody throws something, you hit in PF development, it's 90%. So basically that's why I was done. And then Wachiruba, Woodlands, we are praying that together with Moses, you have you develop a proper way of analyzing issues. You were talking about something in Soweto which was being sold at 500,000 before the investment, and then comparing it with something which is sold at 5,000 kwacha today. The economy across the nation, we have been talking about these food prices. The same America where this senator was talking about. Under Donald Trump, things that were able to access at $2, today they are accessing them at $4. Something which they are buying at $10, today they are getting them at $25. So basically the scenario is the same. Going South African wise, where we import a lot of things, South Africa has been hit. We saw of a woman who was talking about small things like a toothbrush or a toothpaste, how much it was selling. Today it's selling more than 25 rand. So basically, the scenario is across the whole world. And 10 years is not a smaller period. 10 years, it's a decade. So basically, the PF, I would want to borrow from Diana, where I saying that Rome was not built in a day, but the Roman Empire which we over talk about, having lived or controlled the world for almost 500 years, it was not built overnight. It had a lot of emperors who came, successive and various, who contributed to it. And at the end of the day, we talk about Rome as the eternal Rome. So basically, that's what it is.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mukondo Erasmus Chandler, for your time.
Thank you very much, Comrade Caesar. May I also say that tomorrow it's a burial day for the UPND, Ekaindi Chirema, tomorrow, as a Patriot Front, Alebwererapo. Thank you.
Well, thank you once again, and I thank everyone for listening to the program. And those that called, we really appreciate. Those that failed to call, we still expect your calls as we go on with this program. And do remember, at 13 hours to 14 hours, we will be hosting